Hello there. My name is Corey, and I am a Star War.
And my name is Corey, and I am a Star War.
And my name is Jim, and I am a Star War. And we are a Star War.
Today we're going to cover Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Sith.
And Corey is going to take lead on this for a second. But he usually goes over some facts and figures before we get into the actual discussion. But we do have a point of order. We have some new action figures on the toy.
Yes, on the toy and on the table.
Yes, we do have one on the toy. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
It is on the table.
Near the toy.
We got an Obi-Wan from the Black Series. Thank you, Carly. And we got a new Wicket. Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Wicket!
These are both
a good-looking Wicket.
Yeah, this is one of the 40th anniversary reissues of Return of the Jedi. But they upgraded all of them. And as always, the Black figures, Black Series look great. Obi-Wan looks great, and now he won't stand up.
He's a little tipsy.
Fucked him up.
He's got a lot of robes.
He do. So this is for you, Corey Martin. What are some facts and figures about Revenge of the Sith?
Revenge of the Sith. I'm glad you asked, because I wrote them down. The title is Star War Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Released May 19th, 2005. Directed by George Lucas. $113 million budget. $868 million box office. It was only the second highest box office of the year. Number one.
2005.
In 2005.
Lord of the Rings, probably?
Lord of the Rings? No.
Not this time. Harry Potter and the Goblet
Harry
of Fire.
Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Yes. This movie was nominated for Best Makeup at the Oscars that year. It was the only nod it got.
Is it the only nom?
It was the only nom that was given that year.
Do you think if we continue down this trend of shortening words that in the future it's just going to be, yeah, I got the
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. You heard it here first.
It's the Kevin Malone quote, and he's like, why say so much?
Yeah, why say lot word when few word do trick? Yeah. But it did lose that. It lost the Oscar to Narnia. The Chronicles of Narnia.
The Chronicles of what?
Narnia.
All right.
Oh, that threw me off. This movie takes place 3 years after Attack of the Clones film, which means that the entire Attack of the Clone Wars cartoon
It's 3 years.
series
3 years.
happens in the 3 years in between.
3 Earth years. Or
So
it's 3 cycles. No?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. We go to, I think, 5 different planets in this. We spend a lot of time on Coruscant. We know we end up on Mustafar. The place where he fights Grievous is Utapau. Yoda goes to Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk, that's right.
Which is the Wookiee planet.
Uh-huh.
And then we end on Tatooine at the very end when we're handing off the baby. You always got to go back to Tatooine. And if you watch the deleted scenes on Disney Plus, you also see Yoda land on Dagobah.
Oh, cool.
And then
I've never seen that.
He steps out of his little plane and goes, and cut. That's the whole scene. It's pretty sad.
They put in a lot of work
Yeah.
to delete that scene.
Somebody spent months and then they were like, we're not using it. That's all the facts that I have. That's the facts.
All right.
So what do you love about this movie? What do you hate about this movie? This movie,
it's my favorite of the trilogy prequels.
to a lot of people, this movie is their favorite. I think it's people younger than us who see the original trilogy is pretty good, but it's kind of dated to people younger than us. And then the prequel series is what they grew up with. And the first 2, even they know, are not that great. But the third one delivers on everything that you wanted from this trilogy. The other 2 suffer because they are all setting up this movie.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think, Hoss?
Yeah, it had been a long time since I had watched this one start to finish. The night that I watched this one, I watched it a few weeks ago because we were supposed to record, and then one of us got sick or something. I don't remember. Anyway, what had happened was I watched it in anticipation of this recording, and we'll say that I was under the influence of something, and then by the time the third act of this movie rolled around, I was like yelling at the TV. I was hyped as
Did you have
hell.
full buy-in? Were you on the ride?
I was in, and I was like, God, either this movie got a lot better after taking some time away from it,
Or your gummy kicked in?
or something. Yeah, something happened.
I will say
But it
that
was fucking. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
I have watched this in a particular state of mind before, and the part at the end where Padme comes out and she's like, "You're breaking my heart. You're going down a path." Like that's the best acting moment in this entire trilogy, and like that hit me. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, it's good.
now I understand why she died of sad."
Yeah, she died of a broken.
But then I sobered up, and now I think it's dumb that she died of sad. She got so sad.
you
She's died.
motherfucker.
So yeah, let's rank the movie on your 1 to 11 of all the movies.
Because I don't. This changes, and I would be horrible at trying to figure out where they each would go number wise. I did this in the last episode. I'll just say what movies I think it's better than. Right, it's better than Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones for sure.
Yep.
It's better than Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Better than The Force Awakens.
Yep.
It gets dicey from there. Probably it's better than Solo.
Are we putting those in these? Or are we just focusing on the 9 episodes?
No, we're going 1 to 11. We'll do.
Yeah.
So we're including Rogue? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, which means that that's up next.
Yeah, that'll be the next movie.
Sweet.
So yeah, I don't think it's not better than Rogue One. It's not better than A New Hope or Empire or Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It might be better than Return of the Jedi, but
I feel like the ranking
still
is
holds.
easy on the what's your favorite and what's the least favorite.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
one of those in the middle where it's like, I don't know, is it 5th, 6th?
I would
1,
say
2, 3,
5th.
4, 5th.
Yeah,
I would say 5th.
it's right there.
I
yeah.
would.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
But
I don't think it's better than The Last Jedi.
so
James is telling me that it's his second favorite.
Producer James.
So what does this movie have that the other 11 movies don't? Other 10 movies don't. This movie did do the things that we wanted to happen in the prequels. I wanted them to happen earlier. I always like things earlier, but earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, we see Darth Vader become Darth Vader.
Right.
That was the payoff of the whole thing is this is what you're going to see. He's going to put that helmet on. And he did. So it's, why it's such a big event in this movie. It's such the turning point and all that. What they spent the last 5 hours of movie setting up. We had to spend 2 hours just so you know how much he loves his mom because he was once a little baby.
That one time.
And then we spent a movie saying that we know how bad he can be because he was 19 and he was a dickhead. And then this movie is like, look, he's a general and he's really good at it. And he doesn't like it. They did the thing that they did in the last movie where I'm like, make him do something bad. Give me a hint because when they in the opening scene, which is the most amazing, maybe
so incredible. I want to talk about that.
maybe
Yeah.
the best opening. But when he's like, oh, I'm going to go back and help the clone troopers that are getting shot at. And he's like, no, they'll do their job. He's still like, I want to help the troops.
Right.
Like they're still making him a good guy. They could have gone darker earlier.
When?
They certainly went darker later.
They did.
They did. Yes.
So I've been trying to think if this is true or not. Is it the only time that we see Obi-Wan Kenobi in one of the movies fire a blaster?
Oh, I
Ooh,
hope
good
so.
question.
Right?
I think
Because
it
they
is.
make such a big deal out of it when he kills Grievous.
Yeah.
And I don't have a picture of him using a blaster in either of the other movies. Anyway.
But in New
so,
Hope, he makes a big deal about it's such a barbaric,
uncivilized.
uncivilized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His Black Series action figure comes with one. I think that Corey and I discussed, because this also came with Lola from the TV show, the TV series. So maybe he used a blaster
He
sometime.
does use a blaster in the TV series.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I think...
But he's being uncivilized on purpose.
Right. Well, he also forgot how to Jedi.
Yeah, he wasn't Jedi.
He lost all of his mojo.
Yeah.
Was he a ham miner? Right? Like a whale miner?
Yeah.
Okay.
A blubber, a blubber of the sand sea.
Blubber getter.
Blubber getter. Chopper.
Okay.
Chopper upper.
All right. Moving on.
I think that's Act 1.
Is that Act 1?
We stop for a break here? Let's take a break.
Yeah, let's take a break. Oh no! Another humdrum day doing your dumb job on Coruscant? Sometimes you need a delicious burger with a side of obscure weapons knowledge. Dex's Diner. Open always. Dex has 4 arms and a unique face, and he can cook a mean sloppy joe. And he knows what kind of dart that is.
Dex!
All right, and we're back. It looks like it's time for the Force Lightning round. These will be quicker, shorter answers.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
They will be both quick and short.
And the
Yes.
questions are shorter too. For
All right.
example,
Where?
scene.
Best scene?
Best scene.
It's not the best, but I wrote the Anakin, when he finds out that Padme is pregnant, he says, "This is the happiest moment of my life." It was just nice to see him have a nice little moment with everything else that was going on and everything that will go on.
It was pretty good, actually. Yeah, that stood out.
I just thought it was a pleasant little thing.
I mean, mine would be opening scene or Mustafar duel.
I would put the Springtime for Hitler. What's it called? What's the play they're watching?
Squid Lake.
Squid Lake. I would put the Squid Lake scene up there.
Because of their...
It's a really, really good scene. And it's to me, I feel like you're watching lore being created, right? Like what, and it had been, right?
Lore, yeah.
And so like watching the actual persuasion and the lie and all of that coming from Palpatine was really good. I like that. But you're right. The opening for this movie is one of the strongest.
Is it the best opening scene?
Of the movies?
How about this? I can't think of a better opening one.
I mean, for nostalgia's sake, it might be New Hope, where the first time you see the little ship and then the big Star Destroyer come over you. Like, that's goosebumps still. That might be the best opening. But this is freaking close. It takes that and it amps it way up when we come in and it's like that roller coaster drop over the thing
And you're looking at the surface of Coruscant.
and all of a sudden you see the scale where it's always been like a few ships circling a big ship. And now it's like, look at this, is thousands of ships.
Yeah. Thousands of
And that's where the
levels.
fun begins.
That is where the fun begins.
Yeah. What's next?
Favorite line from this movie. There's some good ones.
I'll go. I've got a couple of things written here. So I have 2 that I pointed out. This one was kind of funny. Anakin, when like half the ship breaks apart and falls off, and he just goes, "We lost something."
I think we lost some. Yes.
And then also when Obi-Wan is like, "Anakin is a father, isn't he?" And then he just looks at her and says, "I'm so sorry."
Oof.
Like, man,
Oof.
these movies were not known for being the best well-written movies, right? But that's fucking good.
Yeah, that is very good. The we get that line that I only half wrote down where he says the dark side is a pathway to many things people say unnatural.
Many find unnatural.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one. That's a good scene.
because that one gets called back.
I like that one, but I like Obi-Wan's line after they crash. Another happy landing.
I mean, we also get, you were my brother. I loved you. I hate you. That part we love.
You were the chosen one. Good shit.
Dark stuff.
Yeah.
What's next?
Unlimited power. That happens in this movie.
We'll get to that later.
Okay. Best hero of this movie? Who's the hero of this movie? Is it Obi-Wan?
Yeah, I mean, Obi-Wan's the one that
I mean, it's
ultimately has to decide that he's got to fight his best friend and student.
I mean, this is kind of the Thanos moment, right? Like, Jesus Christ, what's the name of the first one? All I can think of was
Infinity
Endgame.
War?
Infinity War. Right, brain fart. So, like, Infinity War was Thanos' movie, right?
Infinity.
I think Palpatine is the antagonist, the protagonist in this movie. It's his story.
Yeah.
And he gets, it's his movie.
Yeah. I think 2/3 of the movie happened in his office.
Where he writes letters.
At his desk.
Yeah. There is one scene where he's sitting there and he's got like I think it's the Death Star plans or whatever, but he's got it like pulled up. Is he an engineer? Is he in there like approving? Like, these ducts I think should be 6 more inches apart. Like, what's he doing? Looking at plans.
You got to be the supervisor, dog. You got to have your hands in all of it. I don't know. That's a good question.
He's a hands-on kind of manager.
I guess
have
he
to
is.
believe
I guess he is.
He's all the way up in it.
I mean, he did go and
Right, Avocado?
Avocado thinks so. She's definitely got an opinion.
She don't like Palpatine either.
hates a Sith. Hates him. Do we have the best villain then?
Anakin.
Hero versus villain? Darth Vader.
Yeah, I just said Anakin.
Anakin.
And my note to go along with that was that Hayden and Portman were both pretty fucking good in their last scene together.
Yeah. Yeah.
We shit on both of them on previous episodes for their acting. We gave Hayden a little props.
And they're both
and
phenomenal
props.
phenomenal actors.
Yeah. This was, with what they were given, which this was the best script of all of the original trilogy prequel. But also Lucas as a director, not very bueno. Yeah, so I put Anakin.
I mean, Padme does spend the first hour and a half of this movie just like on a balcony staring off into the distance.
Lamenting.
I hope he's okay. So, not my favorite.
Did y'all say Anakin too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Darth
100%.
Vader.
Yep.
Side character?
I don't have anything.
Grievous.
Yeah, I guess it's Grievous.
He's pretty cool.
I was thinking about it last night. I wrote it down in here somewhere, but like going into this movie, we didn't have Clone Wars yet. We don't know who General Grievous is at all.
Right.
He's a completely new guy. And we meet him like 5 minutes in, and then we kill him 45 minutes later.
Was he not in Attack of the Clones?
No.
Oh,
Nope.
goddamn.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is a major character. He's in it for 45 minutes between the first time we've ever seen him and when he's killed.
Get him a lot in the cartoons.
Yeah. It's like he's like the apprentice, I guess, of this film because Dooku dies at the beginning.
Right.
And so he's like, or Dooku taught me your Jedi ways or whatever he says that one time.
Just that one time.
Yeah. And then he's killed. But it's like they kind of repeat throughout the trilogy that the apprentice is very disposable.
Mm-hmm.
All three of them have died now
True.
to make way for Vader.
All right.
Interesting.
Next question.
All right. Next lightning round question. Best setting.
Mustafar.
That balcony.
That green screen.
The flower draped balcony where she sat crying and cradling her belly.
That one. Not that one.
His office is kind of wild.
Anakin's office,
no.
like where he does his taxes.
Palpatine's office where he's just got like giant black vases full of Sith
He's always got some style, though,
hole.
right?
He's got
He's
Sith
got
hole
style.
everywhere. Yeah.
Sith hole. All right. Next question.
Best ship. There's not a lot of ships in this one. There's like the big ships in the beginning. They're in their little star cruisers in the beginning. That's cool. And there's like another big, beautiful Naboo ship at the end that they
Oh, yeah, that's right.
take to Mustafar.
I like the missile that turns into the little bad attitude droids in the beginning in that opening action sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've got this classic Sidewinder looking missile that's, heat seeker, and it turns into a couple of little pissed off robots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Would you say it's a piss missile?
It's a piss missile.
Piss missile.
It's a pistol.
Best chase. All of these movies have a chase, but it might be just them racing through in the beginning.
I was going to say, I think the beginning is the chase.
It's 23 minutes from start to another happy landing. That's 23 minutes of nonstop
Damn.
awesomeness in the beginning of this movie, which is them flying to it and then getting to the room and then killing Dooku and then
Saving Palpatine,
escaping and then
escaping.
landing, like all that stuff. But it's like rat-a-tat-a-tat, it doesn't stop for the first 23 minutes.
But that really is the only chase, right?
More
I
or
think
less,
so.
yeah.
Oh, no. Obi-Wan's chasing of Grievous on Utapau when he's riding the furry
that's
lizard
true.
dragon. So, yeah, there's a second act chase sequence.
I never really loved that part of that.
I like
I'm
the
like-
sound that the animal makes. It's kind of interesting. That
But it's weird that it can
high-pitched-
run as fast as that, like, uni wheel thing. that
Have you tried to
Grievous
ride a
is in.
unicycle? It's not that easy.
No, but
By the way, neither have I.
if you have 6 hands, it's easier.
True.
I think.
What do you think?
Remember 6 hands?
5 of them are busy.
Yeah, I mean, we were still talking about chases, or that's what happened.
Well, no, he was. It's an honest question. The answer is he was talking about the speed difference between the feathered animal that Obi-Wan
Yes.
is riding versus the unicycle that Grievous is driving.
Yeah,
Which one is faster?
I would say the cycle, right?
right. Should be.
Maybe that fucking lizard is cheetah-like. We don't know.
I think the cheetah lizard can probably like maneuver on the ground better
I think it's going to come up later.
later.
So what's the best fight of this?
I mean,
Got to be
It's
Mustafar.
Mustafar.
it's that. I really do like Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Dooku. That sequence, though.
At the beginning.
Yeah, that shit was real good.
It was good.
But yeah, I think it's got to be Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Watching it again last night, the thing that bugged me is that because I'm so excited to get to that because I know it's so good and it's so cinematic and just the explosions behind them and all this stuff. It's so awesome. But they have it intercut with Yoda fighting Darth Sidious, which is another like cheese ball super ninja bouncing around thing. I'm just like, this is so ridiculous. Like, and it's intercut with the two, so they're both happening at the same time. I wish it wasn't like that. I think Yoda should have been injured
Okay.
in Order 66, and then they're putting him in a thing, and they're like, "Here, we're gonna send you to a swamp," and he's like, "Okay, you got to go and kill either the Emperor or Darth Vader," and then they make Obi-Wan go choose, and then Obi-Wan goes to kill Anakin. That's what it should have been. I just rewrote it
That's amazing.
in the lightning round. That's not where that belongs.
That's not where that belongs.
That goes
So-
in Let's Get Nerdy, I think, right?
Best outfit.
I mean, Vader gets the glow up,
Ooh,
right?
that brand new. Smells like a new
Fine
car in
Corinthian leather.
Ain't been sweated good yet right?
Yes, the issue.
No sweating.
there. Probably smells like a clean barber shop inside that thing.
What about the what was the question?
Best outfit.
Best outfit.
No, yeah, that's got to be it. I thought Palpatine looked pretty spiffy there at the Swan Lake.
Swan Lake.
So he already had all the black robes with the big hoods.
It's like a turnout, like it's
'Cause he
a
keeps
flat
them
on the
around
outside and then solid
when he's
on the
like,
inside.
when his burner phone goes off and he has to make a Darth Sidious call,
Right.
he puts his helmet, his hat back on. So he's already had all that stuff. Okay. Best toy from this film.
I don't remember. I don't think I was still buying toys at this time.
I want to go back to his outfit for a second. I think that Palpatine and was it Lucien? What's his name? What was Skarsgård's name from Andor?
Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah, Lucius Malfoy. that guy. I think that guy and Palpatine shop at the same tailor.
Coruscantian tailor.
Fine, Coruscantian tailor. Okay, I digress. I yield the floor.
What is the next subject?
Best use of the Force.
Yoda slinging the Emperor is what I wrote. He yeets him across the room.
He does.
Is that what the kids say these
He
days?
eats him. He does walk in and just throw his hands up and like murders the two guards in red that are standing there. He's like, boom.
Fuck them guards.
He chokes out his wife who's pregnant and crying. That's not good.
No.
It's a bad use of the
that the
Force.
worst?
That's not the
use?
best use of the
It's
Force.
bad. It's bad. I don't know. What else comes to mind?
How about the elevator Jedi jump up and down and catch? Like you were 3 years old or 4 years old on an elevator and you thought, if I jump right before it lands, I'll float. Right? That's what Anakin does in that opening sequence when they're trying to save the Chancellor.
That's true.
And he uses the Force elevator shaft escape maneuver jump. That's in the sacred Jedi texts.
The sacred Jedi text.
And that's also if you hold down X and Y at the same time and then toggle left, right, back and forth.
On Thursdays.
He does that in the game. Is this movie woke? Probably the child murder. That's rough. That part's tough. Still tough. You know, where the children are killed.
Oh, yeah. The younglings, you mean?
That hasn't come up yet, but yeah, children are
It's
killed.
pretty brutal.
Yeah. So that part's bad. There's nothing to really. I mean, I guess those like the racist Chinese voiced
The viceroys.
show up.
So I didn't make any notes except for one. And the note was, I think the Viceroy in this movie is trying to talk as though he has the Asian tropey accent, but doing an American voice because he kind of has an American John Wayne kind of swagger to his line.
Oh no, I gotta go.
Yeah,
back
they
and
didn't.
listen.
They didn't make it better.
They said, "I am not racist."
British all of a sudden. Scottish.
Put an F-bomb in this movie.
I put absolute fucking power.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
What about you? Sideburns.
Cheeseburger.
Sideburns. Absolute fucking power. Yeah, that's pretty good.
What about you? Sideburns.
I just said one.
Oh, you
I
did.
think he said absolute fucking power.
Did you?
No, I said the other thing. God damn it. Cut all this out. Cut this out.
No.
You might be producing this
I
episode, but
fucking hate
he's
you.
editing it.
Oh, I fucking hate you.
I fucking hate you is my vote.
You had said that.
I did say that. That's all I got for lightning round.
All right. Time for a word from our sponsors.
Word from our sponsors. It could be you. Give us a call. Bye.
Are you looking for a private moment? Come to the Galaxy's Opera House for a Mon Calamari production of Squid Lake. Look at fish people. They're dancing in a globe. Tickets now available.
And we're back.
And we're back.
We're back.
Are we?
Welcome.
Yep.
We are.
Are we back?
We back.
This is part 3 of episode 3. Sith. This next round is just let's get nerdy with it. We're just gonna
Let's
kind of
get
open
nerdy
it
with
up.
it.
If you guys want to talk about any big topics, anything on your mind, any
I have a couple of notes. I didn't go in on all of them. My I think the only one I answered was do we have any how the hells or when you think about it's So my first one is, who were those first two punk ass Jedi that got killed so quickly by Palpatine when they tried to arrest him?
My God, I wrote this down also.
They didn't even get their sabers in the air to try to fight.
No.
And then also, how were the other Jedi in the galaxy found? If most were killed by clones, then it's not a far stretch to think that there could be a lot more out there. The Emperor only says that the rest will be hunted and defeated.
I think it's because the clones are assigned to the Jedis. The Jedis are the field commanders, right? And so the clones are, all the Jedi are deployed fighting the war, and I think they all got a team of clones wrapped around them. That's what I think. But clearly there were 4,800 Jedis that escaped Order 66, soon to come on a Disney Plus series near you.
There have been some other Jedis. They found them.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. That's not breaking news, Corey.
Yeah, I was also concerned about Mace Windu was like, we got to go get the Sith Lord. Let's go arrest him. You three come with me. And then those three were dead within 5 seconds. Like the first two, you're right, didn't even get their hands out of their pockets. And then the third one was like, and then he was gone. So like, I know that like we've seen Anakin and we've seen Obi-Wan and we know they're good at what they do.
Right.
And we know they're probably the best at what they do. Are the other Jedi like real bad? Maybe all of the Jedi that we haven't
that's why
seen.
we think that Obi-Wan and Anakin are so good.
Yeah, maybe that's why they're the ones that have to go and do everything, because the rest of them are
like
just
all the Jedi.
worthless.
I believe my words were punk ass bitch.
They might be. But look, also, I was thinking about this, if we want to get deep for a second.
Or just punk ass Jedi. I'm sorry.
So the Jedi are stolen from their families as babies because they move a rock or something. So they're like, you can do this, so you're coming with me.
Right.
And they steal them and they indoctrinate them into this monkhood where they learn to kill with light and whatever. What if they're not good at it? What if like what if you get to be like around
one rock once?
You get to be like 11 or 12 and they're like pick up the lightsaber and you're like and
you're
like,
on the practice
you keep
squad.
cutting people's arms off and shit, like you're just
I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. And they're like, turn it off. And they're like it causes just disasters.
It's like the Bad Batch, but for Jedi. You just created a new series.
Do you get expelled?
Right, but instead of being highly trained killers, they're just neurotic morons.
Like, I guess that's why they have like a Jedi like archives and there's people that work there. Those must be the ones where they were like, look, you're not going to get a sword. Right.
But can you file my expense report?
But we do need accountants.
Right.
And so maybe if you could take this course, you can be a Jedi accountant. It's just as good. We stole your family. Like, they don't have anywhere else to go.
Those that can't do teach is what.
and those who can are accountants.
And I don't mean that personally. That's just the saying, but it's not always. That's not always fucking
That's
true.
not us saying.
I mean,
We're
I
not
didn't say
saying
it.
that. But other people will say that.
Y'all know what I mean.
Earlier.
Were there other orders in those chips?
Wasn't your example like Order 37 was bring me some nachos?
Yeah.
These
And,
are
like,
the
the
texts
clones
I
are
woke
supposed
up
to
to
bring-
this
And
morning.
every once in a while, he's like, he pulls the thing out and he's like, Commander Cody, it's time. Execute Order 74.
I just knocked down 5
And they're
action
like,
figures.
Pizza.
Yeah, 74 pizza.
Somebody get pizza.
And what if they were all like that except Order 66, right?
Yeah.
Like none of them were heinous. All of them were like food related. Go get this, go
Yes.
get that. Let's have a party. It's time for a pillow fight, right?
Yeah.
So
That was Order 37.
According to the text this morning, Order 37 is destroy all beings in the galaxy. Order 12, everybody just start pretending like Miley Cyrus is a good singer.
Yeah. And then they don't have any choice but to think Miley Cyrus is good.
All right. Well, that kind of flies in the face of my theory of all of the other orders being fun and playful. And 66 being the only one.
I mean, it's
that
good
was-
if you want Miley Cyrus to be successful, then it's
Well, but I mean,
good.
think about it.
But
If you're conditioned
if you
that-
don't think that she brings anything to the table,
Other
if you
than
don't think that there's
other than a
any
wrecking
reason, right?
Man, you hate Miley Cyrus.
No, that was Palpatine. I just wrote it down.
He was channeling the Sith Lord.
When they're sitting in the opera and he's talking and Palpatine is like, yeah, this dude could actually like make babies out of the Force. Did any part of Anakin right there be like, hey, I don't have a dad? Has he ever asked anybody like, hey, Obi-Wan, tell me a thing again about how I don't have a dad, but I had a mom, and I was born, but I don't have a dad. Can you
Of the
explain?
Force, by
Did he
the
never
Force, and
ask
for
that
the
again?
Force? Yeah.
He just like went on with his life, and he's like, we won't discuss this ever.
It's kind of like religion. You just told there's a God and a Jesus that loves you, and has there ever been any proof that this shit happened? Like,
Oh, shit.
Damn, this just got
somebody
controversial.
wrote a book one time, and
But hold on.
there were seas that were
Holy-
parted and things that have never happened ever before.
I mean,
or
bring it
again in the
on. We
history of
don't
the
have
universe.
people that aren't going to listen anymore because of what you're saying, but it's exciting that you're saying such dangerous things.
Nah, everybody that listens to this is
We're all going to hell
If we
anyway.
lose Drew over what you just
Drew, we're
said,
so sorry. What was the prompt? How do we bring it back to the rail?
this was Drew's thing, I think.
should I cut that out?
No.
No.
Okay, so sent to us by friend of the show, Drew. Let me pull this up from our DMs. We got DMs, y'all.
I still think like Order 66, right? So they're rolling in. They got Order 66. They still think that it's just like Funyuns and salsa, right? Like that's a weird one, but all right.
Yeah.
And then they're like, why are we carrying our guns? Like, why am I mad at Jedi Floyd over there?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what if they were betrayed by the fact that all of the other orders were about fast food and pizza, and the one time they show up and they got to kill people? Like, the clones were betrayed
And their mouths are watering
because they
think
thought it was Funyuns and
they're
salsa.
like, food's coming. Fuck.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
I'm going to read this from Drew. It says Count Dooku really had a good head on his shoulders. And this is from the Star Wars _Siths on Instagram. So I'm just going to read it. It says the Jedi Order's problem is Yoda. No being can wield that kind of power for centuries without becoming complacent at best or corrupt at most or at worst. Sorry. He has no idea that it's overtaken him. He no longer sees all the little cumulative evils that the Republic tolerates and fosters, from slavery to endless wars, and he never asks, why are we not acting to stop this? Shit, it's really small text, and I'm getting all...
I thought this was going to be a joke setup. This is serious.
Live alongside competition for too long, and you no longer notice the stench. The Jedi cannot help the slaves of Tatooine, but they can help the slave masters. And then it's a reaction emoji or meme from Malcolm in the Middle. It says, "Wow, I can't find a flaw in this logic."
And I yield the floor to you, Corey Martin.
God, hold that face for a second, Corey. I got to get a picture.
That's his thinking face. He hungry.
Okay.
He's still thinking about Funyuns and salsa.
So they're bad then? So the Jedi are bad? Is that what we're saying?
Yoda is what this thing is claiming.
Yoda's like the worst. Like Trump. It felt like Trump. I felt like they were talking about Trump the whole time. I think everything's about Trump.
No, I think it was about Yoda.
I'm sickly obsessed with him. I mean, yeah, throughout the whole prequels, I've often been wondering if we're supposed to think the Jedi are stupid, or did Lucas say, "Oh, I'm going to write these about Vader and how stupid the Jedi are"? Because I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. I still don't feel like things came out the way that he planned it. But we're finding more in it than he put, is what I'm thinking. But yeah, there's the fucking when they get to Palpatine, when they're saving him at the beginning, and he says, "Be careful, Dooku's a Sith Lord." And Obi-Wan turns around and says, "Sith Lords are our speciality." Like it's
That's right.
That's the sassiest he's ever been, and it's the like most like Sith Lords. We love them. We'll kill them every day.
Had he just come
I'm
up-
Obi-Wan, baby. You know who I
Was
am.
he still kind of channeling a little Baz Luhrmann?
Yeah.
A little Moulin Rouge?
Yeah, a little. And so, and I mean, like, so I feel like that was pretty clear indication that he meant for us to see their hubris, and he meant for us to see how dumb they were. And he's just like,
Yes,
ha,
have
ha,
some.
ha.
What do you think, boss?
Phantom Menace was still a phantom.
Phantom.
Batman.
And then in the whole third trilogy, he's a phantom too, because they don't even mention him until the very end.
Somehow.
He was still a phantom.
Somehow.
Phantom.
That dude was always a phantom.
Batman.
What else do you guys want to talk about?
I would like to give a shout out to all of the VFX people on this one, because I know I said some opinions about some of the renderings on Attack of the Clones. This movie looks great. It looks great. Like, they did such a phenomenal job of blending the live action with the green screen, with the composite, all of that opening sequence in the beginning of them flying through the, crazy battlefield. It looks so good. Like, they figured out a way to blend things. It just looks fantastic. Thumbs up. Loved it.
Agreed. Something happened between 2000 and 2003.
Significant jump. Yeah.
Something came out
Yeah.
that changed everything, made everything faster and
Started
better.
getting
looking.
iPhones around, what, 2002
They didn't.
three?
They didn't shoot this movie on a
think this
fucking
was on
iPhone.
I mean, I know that, but I'm saying, like, they got that technology,
But of course, the iPhones now have more processing power and resolution than they did back then.
Yeah, well, that's true. Probably, right?
And no, they're not better cameras. Don't at me.
I want to piggyback on what Corey was talking about how bad religion is. Is this movie the sci-fi Passion of the Christ?
I mean, it certainly has elements of it.
Because I feel like Passion of the Christ was like, oh, I really want to see how bad they tortured this dude. Like, oh, it's the most torture anybody's ever shown on TV. It's my Jesus. And I feel like when we went into this movie, we wanted Vader, and we were like, fuck, Vader has to get all of his freaking arms and legs cut off. He's got to get burnt up. He's got to go through all of
By
the
his
shit.
best fucking friend.
And we're going to see it in this movie. And then we did. And then we wanted it to be gory. And he, sure enough, gets cut into 6 pieces and then lit on fire while his friend is like, I'm stealing your sword too. Bye.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we had no idea that any of that shit happened before. We just knew that, like, Anakin ends up in this suit to help him live and breathe, but we ain't know he lost all his goddamn arms and legs, right?
Right. I don't think we knew that he's more machine than man, but we never knew what was what in there.
And I'm just going to say, in that sequence, specifically the part when Anakin bursts into flames, like, there is
Like,
this
crawls up his
heightened
back.
battle. There's this heightened battle sequence, of them flipping around and fighting each other, and Anakin, getting the low ground and all that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming off that high, right? That adrenaline high. And, Anakin's down, Obi-Wan cut his arms and legs off, and now they're pleading with one another. And he's just like, I loved you. You were my brother. And he was like, I hate you. And you're the worst person. And I'm so mad at you. And it kind of goes on for a few minutes, right? All the fucking while, Anakin is slowly sliding into a river of lava. And then he bursts into flames slowly.
From the bottom up.
Slowly.
Crawls up his back.
And Obi-Wan is like getting checking his pockets to make sure he's got his car keys.
He's
And
like,
Anakin is slipping into a river of fire, and Obi-Wan is
keys,
just like,
wallet, phone.
man, I sure do. We had a good run, man. I loved you so much.
I can't even be bothered to walk over there and
then he walks away. He just walks away slowly. And Anakin is like, what the fuck?
I will literally not piss on you if you are on fire right now.
That's how much he changed in a couple of minutes.
Okay, good. I'm glad it wasn't just me.
He ain't over there like trying to fan him down or nothing.
He didn't even ask for his wallet.
Like, I'm stealing your sword too, bitch.
Right, it's my lightsaber.
Yeah, this is my lightsaber now.
You lost these fucking privileges.
They've been revoked.
You would never a fucking master. I got your laser sword.
I do have a how to hell though.
Bring it.
When the emperor gets there and finds his little charred remains, and he's like, go fetch a helipad thing for us to put him on, and they go and get a whatever stretcher.
A space gurney.
It's exactly long enough for him without legs.
What?
When they're carrying him to the ship and he's kind of he doesn't have his legs or anything, and you just see him laying there. And the stretcher, if he had legs, would be way too short.
So you're saying that they had one of two conversations in the ship. Go on, get the full-grown person one.
Hey, bring the stretcher.
But no, did you see him? He doesn't have any legs. Did they either go, we'll print a new one in our 3D printer and have one that's the right size? Or did one of the guys go, fuck it, get the one for the kids?
Yeah, bring him the kiddie one. I guess.
I think it's more like that.
Short. Yeah. That's all. It's very weird.
So I guess that's it, right? No one has any final thoughts? I mentioned this earlier, but I really enjoyed this movie a lot.
I love this movie. It's grim, but it's wonderful.
Does it land the plane of the trilogy? Does it
Yes.
do what it's supposed to do?
I think so.
Yes.
Producer James, that's 3 strikes, buddy. You're out. You're fired. I gave you the first 2. No, say what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
That sounds great.
Oh, for sure.
It's
Best
his
of the
favorite
trilogy.
soundtrack.
Yeah, producer James loves this one.
Heroes.
Because he was a wee child, as you mentioned in the last episode. Yeah, so it's different. It's different for you. I guess that's it then.
I believe so.
We just fired producer James, who was on for his first episode. So it's been a good run.
R.I.P.
But yeah,
Miss you,
that's it.
champ. I miss you.
Go to thealabamatake.com and follow all of our other podcasts in our network. We got Pop Culture Podcast, Book Podcasts, 2 Sports Podcasts, a Wrestling Podcast.
Go to TeePublic and get T-shirts.
Yeah, search for the Alabama Take.
Don't search for butthole.
Yeah, because we've been taken down once. I think they got us for copyright violation.
It was never for the butthole.
We do not own the rights to butthole.
But search for the Alabama Take store, and our shirts are listed there along with other merch from all the other podcasts. You could get a hoodie. I've been told the hoodies
I think
are
you
really
can get like a
comfortable.
vintage cigarette case. Like if you want to be
I
fancy.
don't know about that.
I've gotten 4 mouse pads.
Did you really?
I believe that.
I go through those things. Y'all don't wear them out? I go through a mouse pad like every 6 days.
But yeah, go there and buy stuff. It helps support the Alabama Take site. What very little money is made goes toward keeping our website up and running. And Jim has put the Emperor Palpatine Black Series action figure up to the mic, and he would like to say something, I think.
Do it.
Star Wars!
Star Wars.